Welcome back to Java programming series, and today we will understand how to write a program to find the greatest number from the given numbers. Now let's say I don't have an idea how I can start solving this program. So anytime in the programming, if you feel that you are getting stuck or you are not getting the idea, then try to understand the program definition 5 to 6 times. Try to read that definition 5 to 6 times. So here you can see we have a definition, write a program to find the greatest number out of given numbers. Again, one more time, find the greatest number out of given numbers. So from the program definition, you can understand what is the input required in the program and what is the output required in the program. So let's try to write it down. So what is the input required in the program? It's a collections of numbers because it's a given numbers. Can you guess what is the output required in the program? It's the greatest number. So basically we need one number into the output and we need to provide collections of numbers as an input. Now we have understood what is the input and output required in the program. Let's try to add that input and output in the program. So input is collections of number. So how can we store collections of number in Java? So whenever we want to store collections of number in Java, we can use the array. Now, if you don't know how to declare and initialize array in Java, I recommend to have a copy of my Java revision book. It's a quick refresher on Java concept, plus it's a color coded, so it's easy to revise the Java concept before the interview. So let's check the syntax of initializing array in Java. So let's go to the array chapter, and here you can see if I want to declare the array and initialize with some numbers, then I will be using this syntax. So I'll copy this one and let's get back to the IntelliJ with these numbers. Okay, I will use that syntax here and let's try to rename this array as a numbers. So here in the array, I have 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Let's try to randomize some of the number. Let's make it 33. I'll just make it 53 here. Here I'll make it 20. So now we have written what is input required in this program. Let's try to write down the output as well. It's a greatest number. So I don't know how to find the greatest number from this given number, but at least I know that I have to store the greatest number somewhere. So let's take one more variable. Let's say integer max. Let's try to assign with 0. So I'm not sure 100% whether we have to assign with 0, but because I don't have an idea, I'm just adding input and output that I got from the program. So I have to print that output as well. So let me write down system.out.println. I'll print the max, and somewhere here I have to write down my programming logic so that using this collections of number, I will find out the maximum number from these numbers. Now our part is to find out the logic. Now that's the important part after we find out the input and output. So now let's try to understand how to work on the logic. So I have this input of numbers and I have to find out the maximum number out of this number. And let's say I'm blank. I don't have an idea. So whenever you find out that I don't have an idea, you have to work on finding the solution by yourself without Java. Okay, I will give you an example. So let's say I have this number 10 and 30. So which one is greater? Definitely your answer will be 30, right? Let's say I'm adding one more number, let's say 45. So which one is bigger? Your answer will be 45. I'm adding one more number, let's say 20. What is your answer? Your answer is still 45. Let's say I'm adding one more number, 15. What is your answer? 45. I'm adding one more number, let's say 47. Now your answer will be 47. That's the greatest. Now you have to understand how your brain is thinking, how your brain is processing and understanding that 47 is maximum or 45 is maximum. So basically you store temporary value of greatest number in your brain. So let's try to understand with the help of animation. So here we have a numbers that we are passing as an input, and we will understand step by step how our brain is processing these numbers to find the greatest numbers. Now let's say first number we are getting, it's a 10. So right now we don't have any other number. So our brain will store 10 as a maximum number. Now next number we will get, it's a 30. Now our brain will compare whatever next number we are getting and whatever I have stored as a maximum. It will compare the next number. Is it greater than from what I have stored? Yes, then it will store the next number into the memory. So now the brain will store 30 as a memory. Right? It will forget the 10. Now the next number we are getting, which is 45. Again, brain will compare 30, which we have stored, and next number is 45. Which one is greater? So 45 is greater. So 45 will go into the brain. We will forget about the 30. Now the next number we are getting, which is 20. Now 20 is less than what we have stored in the brain, right? So 20 is less than. Now brain will not take the next number in the brain because that's not the greater than 45. Now the next number we will get, it's a 15. Again, 15 is not greater than 45. So we will discard the 15. We will just remember the 45. Now the next number we are getting 47. Now the 47 is greater than 45. So again 47 will go into the brain. So whichever next number we are getting, which is greater than the current brain memory, we will just take that next number as a greater number. So same thing we will apply in the logic as well. And this process will get continue until we reached all the number. Then whatever memory we have in our brain, that will be the greatest number out of all the numbers. So same thing I will apply in the logic, but we need to understand how to go through each number one by one, and then I will have a one comparison as well with the temporary storage. Let's say it's a max. So every time I am getting the next number, I will compare with max. And if I will find out the next number is greater than the max, then I will just update this max with the next number because it's a greater. After visiting every number, whatever value we are getting in the max, that will be our greatest number. Now let's try to write down the code to go through each number from the array. Now again, if you are not sure how to write down the code to go through the each element of the array, I recommend to go through the code that I have provided in my book. These are the building blocks in the programming. So you need to understand how to declare the array, how to go over the each element from the array, and how to apply the condition. So let's write down the code to go over the each element from the array. So I will just write for loop, integer I starts from 0, I less than number dot length, and let's say I plus plus. So whenever I will try to print the number of I, that will print each number from the array into the output. Now let's try to understand the initial value of the max variable. So what will be the start value of the max variable? So with our example, what was the start value of your temporary memory? The first element, right? So first element we got 10, then our memory was updated with the 10 as a greatest number. So first element from the array is our greatest number. So we will start with max initializing numbers at 0. That means the first element is our maximum number. Now let's say we are getting the next number each time from the for loop. Now whenever we get the next number, we have to compare that number with the max. That means we have to apply the condition. And whenever there is a condition in Java, we have to use one statement, which is the if statement. So let me write down the if statement and I will see what is the condition that I have to write. So the condition I have to write is whatever next number we get, that means numbers of I, is it greater than our max number which we have stored in our memory? If the next number is greater, then I will say max is equal to numbers of I. That means whatever next number we got, I will update my memory with that number. That means the next number we got, now we consider that as a max. Again, we will compare the max with our next number. So next number we got, is it greater than our max? Then we will update the value of max to the whatever number we got. So here this for loop is responsible to go over the each element from the array, and each element we are comparing with max. If we find that the next number is greater than our max, then we will update the value of max to that number. So after going through all the number, whatever max we are printing, that will be our greatest number. So let's try to test by executing our program. So let me run this program and we will observe the output. So right now the input we have is the 10, 53, 33, 40 and 20. So the greatest number is 53. So we should expect the output which is 53. Okay, so we got the output which is 53. Now let's try to change some of the number. Let's make it 44 and here I'll make 60. So 60 is the greatest number. So now we will expect the output which is 60. Now we can go through the code one more time, try to write it down by yourself, and there is a one place where this code will fail. There is a one test case where this code will gonna fail. So write down in the comment section for which particular case this code will fail. That means it will give you the wrong output. And don't forget to check out my Java revision book and the Java coding program book. That will be very helpful in cracking the Java interviews. Perfect. If you get any questions with respect to any concept of Java or any confusion with respect to your career, feel free to reach out to the email address that is displayed on the screen, and we'll see you into the next video.